You see, Professor Kailash Chandra Baral, he is the Vice Chairman of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad Institute of Asian Studies, with which this seminar has close associationship. Professor Prakash Chandra Patnaik, he is one of the teacher of repute of literature and language, and Professor Kumar Suresh, he is one of the prime institute, that is National Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, Delhi. So friends, you have got all the core issues, or you have come to know about all the important issues relating to the National Policy on Education 2020. Inclusive of Professor Barua sir, all the dignitaries who have left the dais, they were at the time of their delivery that they are now very much liberal to speak whatever they like to speak because they are retired. So with apology to the august dignitaries, why we do not speak all the things in the right moment is a great problem for the country. You see, if anything wrong is going on in the country, it is not for the ordinary works of the ordinary people, but the silence of the great people in proper moment that has long been causing damage to the uplift of the country and proper growth of the country. I assist that way. I am not retired. I do have the autonomy to speak whatever I like because this is my country. I belong to this country. And here you see one thing is written there, Azadi Ki Amrit or Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Means this is the very auspicious moment to recall or to commemorate the great history of this great country, maybe the history of society as well as culture of India. And India's history is not only confined to 75 years. Friends, for knowing about the national policy on education, this policy is not new for you, for me, for all the people of the country. Means for all the stakeholders of the sector of education, maybe from primary to the higher level. This policy, if you are to understand so much well, you must have to study or you must have to scrutinize the history of India in maybe educational history, the cultural history, history of literature, history of sociology. Means Indian life ecosystem is to be well studied for understanding or for having a clear picture concerning to the National Policy on Education 2020. And here in this auspicious moment before you, the great people of the country and the young citizens in whose hand the future of the country will be dear, you see, to know so much well or to understand or to realize the spirit and principles of the National Policy on Education 2020, you must have to study the educational history before independence and after independence of the country. And after independence, once you study the history, you will come to know about the Radhakrishnan Commission of 1948, University Education Commission. Thenceforth, other commissions about you will come to know about the Commission of 1952 and 53. Thenceforth, the Commission of 1964 and 66. First policy we got in 1968 after the recommendation of the Qatari Commission of 1964 and 66. I feel very slowly, I do not have the habit of speaking, you see, very slowly. Once I start to do so, then things may be, to some extent, there may be linkless in my speech. So please bear with me so that naturally, you see, I can, whatever I do feel, can translate to you in a natural way. So after 1964-66, Daulat Singh Qatari Commission, the commission, you see, explained so much well in its very starting point that the future, the destiny of India is now being shaped in her classrooms. Means the future of India is in the hand of the teachers, in the hand of the students, in the hand of the stakeholders of the system of education of the country. So the significance of classrooms and people who do have the specific places in the classrooms, as per the assertion of the Commission of 1964 and 66, do have special significance in transforming India to a modern India. And accordingly, the policy, we got first national policy in 1968. Then sport again in 1986, we got the second national policy. Then sport, there is the third policy in 1990-91. There is a slight revision. On the disease after 34 long years, the present education policy you do have, which is in operation administratively from the current year, which will be academically in operation. Now the question is, you have got the chance to listen to these three great persons or teachers of three different areas. One has the link with language and literacy, another has the link with planning, and another has the link with other parameters. In a slavery-freed democracy, I like to repeat it, when I was sitting there and when I was listening to the speeches of these three great dignified teachers or professors as well as officers, there was a term which you see moved in my mind, and that was slavery-freed democracy. We had to face slavery for many years, many to more than 200 years. And friends, are unfortunately three most important parameters we compromised during the time of, you see, our dependence on the British people. Means when we were under British regime or British rule, we lost three most important parameters of our personality. The first one is moral parameter we lost in the hand of the British. We lost taste parameter, and our intellect parameter was also destroyed by the people of the United Kingdom. You see, presently where not more than 6, you see 0.5 or something like crore people are residing. So in the hand of the British, during the time of slavery, we had to compromise with our moral parameter of personality. We were forced to be ready to compromise our intellectual parameter of personality, and we were forced to, you see, compromise the parameter of our taste or taste parameter of our personality. We were born in this country. We were Indian in blood and color, but we started to behave just like the people of the United Kingdom by being slaves under their strong, you see, rule. And we compromise our morality, we compromise our intellectuality, we compromised our taste. And that was the very worst time of Indian history, maybe the social history, maybe the cultural history, maybe the history in totality. Now, whatever is here in the national policy, for understanding the policy, you are to understand so much well about the National Knowledge Commission of 2005. At the same time, by being absolutely a little bit academic, I should better say that for understanding the very gist or the central theme of the national or the spirit of the National Policy on Education 2020, you are to certainly understand the NCF National Curriculum Framework of 2005. At the same time, your knowledge or your scrutiny concerning to the saying or concerning to the consensus agreement in the International Global Conference where more than 193 nation countries were present or remain present, that is UNESCO Global Conference. 193 countries, if I am not wrong, data may be wrong sometimes, please bear with me and you please make it correct. Perhaps 193 permanent member countries, 189 and 193 member countries are there. And in 2015, friends, there was the International Global Conference where sustainable development goals were being fixed by the 193 nations in a consensus, in proper understanding. And there are altogether 17 sustainable goal parameters, most important principles. I just aim to help you by simply mentioning about all those 17 so that you can go into the inner part of the National Policy on Education 2020 where only 4 basic parts are there and some sub-parameters are there. From school education, then higher education, research and implementation mechanism. See, let us go back to 2015. Sustainable Development Goals, number 1, no poverty. The goal, the nations are of the opinion that there is poverty in various parts of the globe. Sir, please help me to know when my time will be finished. I will certainly stop to speak, simply because I don't have the rich words. So no poverty is the first goal, and all the nations who assembled there in the floor of the UNO in 2015 felt that there is poverty in more or less in all nations of the globe. And that's why, and poverty in all its form everywhere is the primary concern, should be the primary concern of all the nations of the globe. It was decided in the UNO conference, global conference, first. Second, you come, zero hunger. Friends, hunger is a great problem. And hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. So, zero hunger is another parameter which was totally consensusly agreed to accept by all the 193 countries as the prime concern of their various activities. Number 3, good health and well-being. So friends, the latter part, though not post-COVID, COVID is still in operation. COVID is not there, but now the destruction, the danger, this minuscule, means the smallest virus, forced to, you see, take place in all the social parameters of all the nations, still the impact is yet to come. And more than 50 long years, coming long years, more or less, nation like us, we are to face the devastation of the impact of COVID-19, though this is not the post-COVID phase. Though last 2 days in Assam, there is no COVID death, there is no COVID, you see, positive case. This is the latest information yesterday and day after yesterday, whatever I have went through in the newspaper. So friends, good health and well-being is the prime concern. And hunger is end of hunger, no poverty. These 3 do have the connectivity. All the nations agreed here. There is hunger, there is poverty, and there is poor health condition. And you certainly come to know, or you know so much well, about the health preparedness of most of the nations of the globe. Even in the United States of America, what happened, you know so much well. And perhaps Had there not been COVID, we couldn't pay much attention towards improving the health sector. It has become reality because of the problem. So there is problem in implementing national policy on education. Now it is in our hand. We are to face it, bound to face it, as Professor Bora explained so much well. So friends, number 4, one is quality education. And this is one of the prime concerns which have well been worded or reflected in the policy document of the National Policy on Education 2020-20. Quality education is a great concern. Once you go to purchase your shoe, then also you see the quality. Once you go to to online marketing, then also you check the quality. Ranking, you say, how many stars are there? You check it. So once you go to that, even online purchasing, then also you see the star marks. How many 5 stars are there? So your psychological transformation concerning to quality is very much stronger now. But once we go to social life, think about your concern concerning to the quality of social behavior, quality of social uplift, quality of social development. And if there is any problem, do you think you are not responsible? Because you everywhere quality food, quality environment, quality situation, quality classroom, so many things you like to get. You aspire to get. But once you enter into your own sector of service, without the concern of quality, you enter into. This is because of the internal impact of slavery, perhaps, which is in our blood as historical legacy. Perhaps, I think that way. Whatever I feel, I have expressed before you for your consideration. I have nothing else. I didn't go through the national policy to deliver my lecture here today. Simply, Chakraborty sir, Tajuddin Ahmed sir, Gofur sir, we assembled and Bora. In a sense, he ordered us, certainly you are to come. We are here. So whatever I am feeling, and the feelings which are disturbing my mind, I have presented before you for good consideration. So friends, quality education, quality, the term is very difficult to define. Quality, the beauty of my shirt. Once I do not compare the quality of my shirt with the shirt of other people, I never can determine. Quality is such a term which is very much difficult to define. Quality is how good something is when it is compared, you see, with same category of good. The rice of this seminar, the breakfast of this seminar, and the breakfast of this seminar of a, say, commercial establishment, you are to compare, then you are to determine. And perhaps in our mindset, once we speak about quality, we mean about the artificial senses which have well been occupied our psychic order. You do not like tekli pitha, or the pithas you have forgotten, the laddus you have forgotten, all the traditional foods you have forgotten about. We have forgotten about the traditional cultures and dresses because our quality culture has either knowingly or unknowingly, either fortunately or unfortunately, been sensing so much well because of the impact of the globalization, because we have opened the doors and windows. So friends, on this parameter we can discuss the whole day. It will not be better. Quality education. Gender equality is a prime concern of that international, you see, global conference. Clean water and sanitation is another most important parameter. Affordable and clean energy is another most important parameter. Decent work and economic growth. There is a term, decent work. We deceive everywhere. Once we enter into the field of work, we have the mindset, your purchase time never can be compromised. I have, whatever I am observing long 29 years is this, that once you enter into the service UC complex, you have many problems. Suppose you are to visit a marriage party, you are to help your spouse in marketing, you are to leave your child in his or her school. So many problems with you enter into the campus. But you do not think, you means not I am meaning you, myself, including you all. We do not think that I am thinking or planning my personal matters in during the purchase time, the time which is being purchased by the nation with the money of the taxpayer of the country. So plans, quality, decent work is one of the concern of that national, international, global conference which took place, which were being agreed by the nations, 193 nations, and all nations put signature, and now it has come. Again, industry, innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequality is a prime concern, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, and climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institution. This is one of the most important parameter. 16 number parameter and 4 parameter is very important. And 17, partnerships for the goals. These are the 17 most important parameters of the international conference, global conference, which were being resolved in the international conference, where 193 countries, leaders of the countries remain present. Now come to the national policy. The policy is the reflection of the global agenda. All the nations were bound to change their policies because we never can remain isolated from the mainstream, global mainstream. There is the war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. Here is the impact. You know, petrol prices are going up. Prices, you see, liquid prices, concerning to the prices of fuel, there is every possibility of, going up because of the war there in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. So friends, we never can negate global impact in each corner. Maybe this remote part here also is the impact of the happening which is going on there in the United States of America. So friends, just to following the 17 principles, agendas of that international global conference, where India was also one of the member nation, or India also remained present, this policy is being well documented and formulated. And this policy has only 5 strong pillars, parameters. One is access, another is equity, another is quality, fourth one is affordability, and last one is accountability. Access into the sector of education. We got independence in 1947. Come back to the Constitution of India, Article 45. There is, it is documented, India, free and compulsory primary education should be given to all children within the age group of 6 to 14 years, and this should be implemented, means it should be the reality within 10 years. That is, in 1960 we had the literacy percentage of 100%. 100% literacy we had to achieve. And when 1968 policy we got there, it was also again repeated. Again in the National Policy on Education 1986 it was repeated. Again in this National Policy on Education there is the repetition of the same perspective, because without literacy, uplift of democracy, progress and success of democracy is not possible. So friends, what is our present percentage of literacy? If you search it in your mobile Android handset, you will see, or you will come to know, that it is not more than 74.04%. And what is the gross enrollment ratio In the sector of higher education, it is 27.02% at present. So 27% people are in the sector of higher education and 74% people are literate. It was declared in the Constitution of India that 100% literacy target is to be achieved. Time was set only for 10 years. In 1960, India should have 100% literacy, but after repetition, it has not become the reality. There is still illiteracy. We are fighting with illiteracy in such a time where the COVID situation has forced us to depend on the technological means and mediums for maintaining our human relationship. Teaching is also one of the means for maintaining human relationship. But the perspective, aims and objectives of teaching to maintain human relationship is different than the aims and objectives of maintaining human relationship in our day-to-day life situation. So friends, there is contradiction not because of the political power but because of your silence, but because of your unconsciousness, but because of your reluctance. And perhaps you are not guilty, you are reluctant, you are silent, you are not willing to work, or you are not willing to play your role as per the demand of the Constitution. Means you are concerned about your rights, but you are not concerned about your obligations because of the, because of the legacy of slavery blood, because of the legacy of long-term slavery. So friends, access is the first parameter. We are to open it. 100% literacy target is to be achieved, which we are striving to do. Then access, after affordability is another issue. Education should be affordable, but government is making free admission, making the process of admission quite free. And once you are to send your son and daughter to private medical education, 1.5 crore or 2 crores you are to keep in your pocket. And that's why there is interview. If you see why the students from Ukraine are returning to India, why they are going there? Because it is cheap. Cheap it is. The expenditure is affordable. But here it is not. But India is a democracy. India is a democracy. Education is a fundamental right. And now we are saying that we are here just to improve the educational condition and social condition of the village dwellers. How contradictory things are in operation, and we are silent. We are criticizing the policies, but we too are the product of the same system. I too am this product of the same system, where from I am criticizing or pointing the negatives of the system, maybe of education, maybe of the political exercise, or the economic policies of the country, or other things. So this is very much important. Education should be affordable. Affordability is one of the most important parameter. The cost expenditure should be to some extent bearable by the citizens. Then the sector is to be accessible. Quality is very much important, and quality education is very important parameter. Equity means justice should be there. There should not be any type of discrimination, may it be linguistic, may it be caste, may it be political spirit, whatever it may be. There should not be any kind of, inequality. Equity is the demand, and this has well been reflected in the National Policy on Education 2020. And last parameter is accountable. Answerability. I am answerable to my conscience first of all. I am answerable to my conscience, because this is my country. And my forefather lost their morality in the hands of the British. My forefather, lost their intellectuality in the hands of the British. My forefather lost their taste in the hands of the British. So I should better be much concerned and conscious concerning to my inner voice. I should better listen to my inner spirit, because I am accountable to whom? To yourself as a citizen of the country, to yourself, to your own society, to your own family, to the society you live in, to the state you belong to, and to the community you belong to, and the nation you belong to, and the global social order. So friends, these are the 5 parameters. I shouldn't go on talking. And the thing is this, that once at the time of formulating the policy on education during British regime by Lord Macaulay, you see the writing. He explained there in the British Parliament, Your Excellency, my Lord, I have traveled every nook and corner of India, but I have not seen a beggar, single beggar. I have not seen such a citizen who is ready to deceive his traditional spirit. Such a beautiful country, my Lord, if we are to make the domination, if we are to dominate, their morality is to be changed, their intellectuality is to be changed, and thenceforth their taste parameter is to be changed. And we lost our morality in the hands of the British, taste in the hands of the British, and our intellectuality in the hands of the British. Now in the national policy on education, the central gist is this, that we are to be Indian in blood and color, we are to be Indian in taste, we are to be Indian in moral, we are to be Indian in intellect. We should better be much concerned concerning to the legacy, rich legacy of our cultural history, which is more than 5,000 years long, wherefrom it was proclaimed Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole universe is one world. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramoyah, sarve bhadrani pasyantu ma kasit dukha bhago bhavet. For the peace of humanity as a whole, for the transformation of humanity as a whole, for the dignity of humanity as a whole, and for the progress of humanity as a whole, this is the country where from long back we started, we worked that way, we followed that spirit and principles. So friends, this is the national policy, this is pro-spirit, actually towards our national history, history of culture, history of life, history of religion, history of economy, all these things. I shouldn't go on talking because Sari is sitting here, so I should better stop. You go on, you study it, and to understand the policy in a sense, you are to understand the history in proper way, and you are to see all the things, all the latest developments in various parts of the globe. Thank you so much, sir. You have actually helped me with my friends to get the company of all those 3 professors who remain present in the inaugural session, and you, the young researchers in whose hand the future of the country is. My friends have had the opportunity to see you, to meet you, to remain present amidst your august intellectuality. I am thank you to Borua sir. Thank you so much.
সন্মানীয় সদন, সময় নিৰ্দিষ্ট সময় 45 মিনিট, তাৰে তেখেতে 40 মিনিট সময় মন মগজুক সচেতন কৰি তোলা এটা ভাষণ প্ৰদান কৰিছে। স্বাধীনতাৰ পিছৰে পৰা বিভিন্ন আয়োগৰ উদ্ধৃতি, বিভিন্ন ইতিহাসৰ তথ্যৰে 2020ক কেনেকৈ আঁকোৱালি ল'ব লাগিব, কিমান প্ৰত্যাহ্বানৰ মাজেৰে, কোভিডে আমাক কি যন্ত্ৰণা দিলে, এই সমগ্ৰবিলাক কথাৰ মাজেৰে তেখেতে 40 মিনিট সময় এটা সুন্দৰ ভাষণ প্ৰদান কৰিছে। মই আগেয়ে কৈছোঁ, মন মগজুক সচেতন কৰা, আৰু এনেকুৱা ভাষণৰ বাবে মই ডক্টৰ মুকুন্দ শৰ্মাক অভিনন্দন জ্ঞাপন কৰিছোঁ, ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন কৰিছোঁ। আমি উত্তৰণ ট্ৰাষ্টৰ পৰা তেখেতক কৃতজ্ঞতা যাচিছোঁ যে অধ্যক্ষসকলে কোনো অৱসৰৰ সময় নাই, দেওবাৰটোতো কাম থাকে, আগতীয়াকৈ এই দেওবাৰটো বন্ধ কৰি ৰাখি আমাক এইখিনি সুযোগ দিছে। সেইবাবে আৰু তেখেত আমাৰ মাজৰে এজন, সেইটো আমি কৈ ভাল পাম, উত্তৰণ ট্ৰাষ্টৰ লগত তেখেত সম্পৃক্ত। গতিকে আমি যেতিয়াই যি আহ্বান জনাওঁ সেই আহ্বানৰ প্ৰতি সঁহাৰি দি তেখেত আমাৰ ইয়ালৈকে আহে। মই আশা ৰাখিছোঁ তেখেতৰ ভাষণৰ জৰিয়তে অন্ততঃ আমাৰ যিসকল এই ব্ৰতত আমি নামিছোঁ সেইসকলৰ কিঞ্চিতমান হ'লেও উপকাৰ হ'ব, আৰু সেই কথাখিনি মই আশা ৰাখিছোঁ। আৰু হ'লে আমি এই যিটো প্ৰচেষ্টা, এই প্ৰচেষ্টাটো আমাৰ সাৰ্থক হ'ব বুলি ভাবিছোঁ। তথাপি মই 5 মিনিট সময় এটা আপোনালোকৰ কাৰণে এৰিছোঁ, যে যদি তেখেতক এই প্ৰাসংগিক কথাখিনিৰ মাজত দুই এটা কিবা সুধিব লগা আছে সুধিব পাৰে। 5 মিনিট সময় তেখেতক এই সোধাৰ কাৰণে আমি তেখেতক মানে এটা দিছোঁ, সুযোগ দিছোঁ আপোনালোকক।
মই তেখেতক সুধিব খুজিছোঁ এটা কথা, পূৰ্বপুৰুষবিলাক ব্ৰিটিছৰ যে ইনফ্লুৱেঞ্চ কৰিলে সেইবোৰৰ এটা সীমা ৰেখা হ'ব নেকি বাৰু? ব্ৰিটিছৰ শিক্ষাত যে হেৰিটো হৈছে আপুনি ক'লে একদম সঁচা কথা, এইটো আমাৰ মন মগজু চব হেৰি কৰিছে, এটা কিবা এটা সীমা ৰেখা হ'ব নেকি বাৰু? নে একেবাৰে বহুত আগৰ পৰা প্ৰথমৰ পৰাই আনিব?
Not only British, you see, from different, বহুত পৃথিৱীৰ বেলেগ বেলেগ প্ৰান্তৰ পৰা আহিছে, মিছনাৰীবিলাকেও আহিছে, তেওঁলোকৰ বেলেগ লক্ষ্য এটা আছে, পিছত আহিছে ব্ৰিটিছৰ কথাবোৰ। গতিকে তাৰ সীমাৰেখা বুলি আপুনি ক'ব নোৱাৰে। আগৰ হিষ্ট্ৰীটো অলপ বেলেগ ধৰণৰ আছিল, কাৰণ আহিব লগা কেনেকৈ হ'ল, কেনেকৈ ইমান আলহী হৈ আহি নিজৰ ঘৰখনৰ ভেটিটোৱে দখল কৰাৰ সুবিধা পালে, এই কথাবোৰ তাত জড়িত হৈ আছে। আমি সীমাৰেখা ঠিক টানিব নোৱাৰিম, এনেকৈ যে এইটো চনতে এইটো হৈছিল।
মই যদি আপোনাক সোধোঁ, লক্ষ্মীনাথ বেজবৰুৱা, বাণীকান্ত কাকতিক আদি কৰি বা তেওঁলোকৰ আগৰ সময়খিনিও ব্ৰিটিছৰ শিক্ষিত নাছিল। তেওঁলোকক ব্ৰিটিছে বহুত আমাতকৈ বহুত বেছি।
লক্ষ্মীনাথ বেজবৰুৱা, ভকেন্দ্ৰ বৰুৱা, আপুনি গম পাইছে, বৰুৱা হৈ গৈছে, ভকেন্দ্ৰ বৰুৱা হৈ গৈছে, মা গৈ মাদাৰ হ'ল। লক্ষ্মীনাথ বেজবৰুৱাই কৈছেতো বহুত কথা কৈছে। বেজবৰুৱাই গোলামীৰ বহুত কথা কৈছে, তাৰ প্ৰভাৱ কি হ'ব পাৰে। সাহিত্যত বহুত কথা আছে গোলামীৰ প্ৰভাৱ সম্বন্ধীয়। গতিকে তেখেতসকলৰ ওপৰত প্ৰভাৱ নাছিল তেনেকুৱা নহয়, আছিল প্ৰভাৱ, কাৰণ সমাজ যিটো ব্যৱস্থাৰ মাজত তেখেতসকল আছিল। আৰু তাৰপিছত কলিকতাৰ কথাখিনি আছিলে, 3খন প্ৰেচিডেঞ্চি চিটিত ফাৰ্ষ্ট ব্ৰিটিছ এডুকেশ্যনৰ ইম্পেক্ট কৰিছে। কলকাতা তেতিয়াৰ কলিকতা, এতিয়াৰ কলকাতা, তেতিয়াৰ বম্বে, এতিয়াৰ মুম্বাই, তেতিয়াৰ চেন্নাই, এতিয়াৰ মাদ্ৰাজ, এতিয়াৰ চেন্নাই। গতিকে 3খন চিটিত পৰিছে কাৰণে তালৈকে গৈছে। কিন্তু এতিয়া তেনেকৈ সামাজিকভাৱে কৈ দিয়া টান। আমাৰ অকণমান ইগ' কম্প্ৰমাইজিং টেণ্ডেঞ্চিটো অলপ বেছি যেন লাগে ইয়াত, যিটো ঘটনা বেংগলত হয়তো নাছিল। ইগ'ৰ লগত কনচেন্স কম্প্ৰমাইজ কৰা, যাৰ কাৰণে তাত যিটো সুবিধা পালে তেওঁলোকে ঘূৰি আহি পেলাই আকৌ তাৰ দ্বাৰা সেই কালচাৰ, সেই সংস্কাৰ আৰু নিজৰ অৰিজিনেলিটিৰ লগত লগ হৈ ইয়াত নতুন চিন্তাৰ গতি দিলে। আৰু তাৰো বহুত দীঘলীয়া ইতিহাস আছে। সাহিত্য সভাৰ ইতিহাস চাইছে, ছাত্ৰ সন্থাৰ ইতিহাসৰ লগত গোটেই অসম সাহিত্য সভাৰ ইতিহাসৰ কথাখিনি আছে। গতিকে পদ্মনাথ গোহাঁই বৰুৱাকে লৈ পেলাই গোটেই কথাবোৰ তাতে আছে, আৰু তাত ৰিষ্ট্ৰাকচাৰিং কৰা কথা কোৱা হৈছে। ইয়াতো কিন্তু পাৱাৰবোৰ আছিলে, ফ্ৰেকশ্যন পাৱাৰ আছিলে, নহ'লে ভেটো দিব নোৱাৰিলেহেঁতেন। মোগলৰ কথাখিনি আছে, লাচিতৰ কথাও আছে, তেনেকুৱা বীৰ বিৰংগনাও আছে। কিন্তু মাছ কনচিয়াছনেছ ৰিলেটিং টু দি ডিগ্ৰেডেশ্যন অফ ছ'চিয়েল ভেলুজ সেইটো বহুত কম আছিল, আৰু কিছু সংখ্যক মানুহৰ মাজত আছিল। নহ'লে ৰূপকোঁৱৰ নহ'লেহেঁতেন, বিষ্ণুপ্ৰসাদ ৰাভাই নকলেহেঁতেন, সাহিত্য সভাই অনুপস্থিত নাথাকিলেহেঁতেন, ৰাভাৰ মৰাৰ পিছত পৰি থাকিল মৃত্যু। এতিয়াহে খুব বাজনা বজাইছোঁ আমি। আমাৰ জাতীয় স্পন্দন হৃদয়ত আছে নে মগজুত আছে বুজিবলৈ টান। যিটো সময়ত এই জাতিয়ে হাতত ধৰিব লাগে তেতিয়াই যদি আমি পেলাই দিওঁ, সেইটোৱে আমাৰ দুখ। আমি ধৰোঁ আহক হাতে হাতে, যাৰ যি ক্ষমতা আছে ধৰক, আগুৱাই নিয়ক, কিন্তু আমি বহুত পেলাই দিয়াৰ ইতিহাস আমাৰ বহুত দীঘলীয়া। ডেট ইজ আৱাৰ উইকনেছ এজ এ কমিউনিটি অৰ এজ এ ষ্টেট অৰ লাইক দিছ। থেংক ইউ ছ' মাছ। বহুত কথা
Congratulations, sir, for your excellence and uncompromisable talks. Today's topic, Education Policy 2020. Sir, my question is that we have already crossed 1 year from 2020 to 2022. Already also we added 34 years after the commission was in 1986. So how do you do to balance these 35 years for development of our education policy as per the NEP 2020 in different 17 fields?
Yes, my
What are
answer.
the thought, what are the duties and
My
responsibilities
thought,
of academicians, students, guardians, and faculties?
I understand the spirit of your question. The answer is this, that if you are ready to work only for 3 hours in real sense, you are to be ready to work 10 hours in real sense. Otherwise, this gap cannot be reduced. And that's why perhaps I do not like to discuss about any political. The Prime Minister is said that he is, or the system is bound to work for 18 long hours. We are to be ready. How we work, that is different. You are totally free. As a principal, there is no pressure from any side, whatever I have experienced. My fellow friends are there. They are working day and night. And there was a time in the same institute when people left at 12. The situation was like that. And now these are the same people, my fellow friends. They are working as per the demand of the institution. And this is the demand. If you are ready to work as per the call of the time, as per the call of the nation, demand of the nation, there will be, the gap will be automatically reduced. It is up to you. Let us change our mindset first. Let us change our attitude first. This is our country. This is my country. I belong to this country, and this is my responsibility and my duty. Once this simple spirit is being developed in your conscience, automatically there will be transformation. Otherwise not. Thank you so much.
আমি আৰু সকলোকে সময় দিব খোজা নাই, সেইফালে খুব সকলোৱে হয়তো ভোক লাগিছে। যেই নহওক, এইবিলাকৰ উত্তৰৰ যি নিৰসন কৰিব পৰা ব্যৱস্থা আছে, কিন্তু আমাৰ সময় খুব যথেষ্ট কম, আৰু সেইকাৰণে আমি সকলো কথা